I'm Mark Whittaker, I'm a GP in Didsbury in South Manchester. I'm actually on our South Manchester Clinical Commissioning Board as the clinical lead in the South. I think for me the benefit is that if we're looking at a group of patients who are either likely to come out of work or who are out of work, when we give them what was a sick note, which is now a fit note, it's too definitive. We don't really follow that up with any support to get them back to work. And I think that what I like about this programme is that, particularly with my interest in MSK, that if you look at patients with certainly chronic back disease, post-whiplash injury or whatever, you're giving them something that gives them an opportunity to improve their condition, so to minimise their disability and maximise their opportunity to get back to work. And I think that my understanding of those patients is that if you can get involved early on, you will severely restrict the time they're off work. And I think it's the wrong thing for us to give them a sick note and expect them to spend a period of time with no input. What we'd like to do is give them a note that allows them that period of time they need to have this involvement, but really gives them the opportunity to get back to work as soon as possible. I think they do better. I think they're less of a burden. I think their life's less of a burden to themselves, their family, and everybody else. So we're not just looking at the individual patient. We're giving them the opportunity to look at the whole picture, themselves, their family, their financial opportunities, everything else. So I think that from an MSK point of view, that's really where I've got involved with it as a GP. And I think that the other area that I would like to see supported is mental health, because I think we see a lot of people who have mild to moderate mental health issues, which may be work-related, and a lot of those people take prolonged periods of time off work or periods of intermittent time off work and never really get to the bottom of what's going on, so that we don't change people's behaviour or change their attitudes, and if we can do, they feel more comfortable, they're more productive, they're back in circulation normally. I think the benefit to us would be twofold. One is that somebody else takes over that patient's sort of ongoing care. So in essence, that's one less person for us to see if they are involved in a system that's working. And I think the second thing is, I would expect to see, fewer follow-up consultations, less dependence on analgesics. And certainly within the mental health side of things, most people less prescribing of antidepressants, because there's not an awful lot else we can do. So you obviously going to use them appropriately, but you sit there thinking, well, where else can I go with this patient other than treat them? And I think that it's one of the reasons why I think the mental health side of it is most probably as interesting as the MSK side of it, because that's a bigger group of people. Although chronic back pain is a problem, but mild to moderate mental health is a bigger problem. I think that's a huge plus. That is a massive plus to us, because we know, and there's lots and lots of evidence that supports early intervention in certainly musculoskeletal injuries will minimise the chronicity of it. Okay. So sort it out quickly, you'll get people better. Leave it for a long time, you'll have a chronic problem on your hands. Our community mental health services are really stretched. I think you've got the voluntary sector, which can play a part, and I think they can play a valuable part in supporting people, but it's almost like there's nothing in between. So the patients either got to wait for weeks and weeks and weeks for formal community mental health involvement, or they can get whatever support they can. But if there's an opportunity, if there's a middle road, which is what you offer, where you can support that patient in a more proactive way, so it's not just a listening way, it's a more proactive way, and also look at the whole patient and their whole circumstance again, then I think that's a great thing.